Hello party people, it is hot tea time. I'm going to do a partnership reading. This is going to be a reading for you, where you're at and where your significant other is at, or partnership, however this rolls for you. It could be any sort of partnership. And then there's a middle energy, what the energy is being created. So we're going to do it where this has come from, where this is at, and where it's possibly going, right? So I'm going to use 3 different decks for each, so 1 for each, right? So I haven't done one of these readings for a while, and I'm just getting back into it. So I have done an elemental hot tea tune-in, so we tune into the spiritual and the mental and the emotional and physical parts of what's going on and the energy around us in that reading. This may be for you if this one isn't resonating. This is a general reading. What have we got? So we've got the Magician. We've got Temperance. And we've got the 8 of Wands. Travel, good news. Right, so here we are manifesting. All elements come together while we manifest. Alright, so this is really tuning into everything, right? And being able to control and use your wisdom and use your knowledge and be able to bring things into the world. So this is a healing. So this is a healing angel. Temperance is about longevity, it's long term, so there may have been like there's a pause, that you took a long time to get in contact with your magician or your shaman, your inner healer, and you've been healing like internally as well. And so this may involve travel. This is a passionate. Alright, so you may have been sitting still for a while, but when you came into this situation with the significant other, this is you sort of were passionate. You'd sat back for a while, healed, and you're really manifesting what you really want. Just there, and that's how you came into the situation. Alright, so how did they come into the situation? Alright, so I'm going to do a self-love reading as well, which is really individual. It's sort of path in how we've got through things and what the energy is. So, alright. A lot of talking to yourself in these, so interesting. Let's see what we've got for you. Let's see what we've got for partnerships. So we have for them, how did they come into this? Wow, alright, the ball was rolling. They've been making decisions, protecting themselves, pulled in. Alright, so they really had been in an inspired trajectory, like, okay, so they were in some sort of decision making. This is about deciding between the path, which way you're going to go, how you make your money, like, but making some sort of action in their life where they were protecting themselves and they were stocking up, and they have maybe have been pulled back to protect themselves and sit back in, but there was some sort of decision in here. But there's also this strong energy of really respecting where you came from, respecting what actually happened here, respecting yourself, respecting their spiritual path, respecting like the challenges that they've had to go through to be in this position. So a lot of fire energy sitting in here. We've got Sagittarius and Gemini energy sitting there as well. Alright, so that was the energy of them, you coming in, them coming in. What was the energy that was made between you? Partnerships. Hot tea. That's the hot tea. What was the hot tea in this? Right, let's pour it. So, ooh, okay. Alright, so this was working hard. Alright. Alright, this was talking about having a reciprocal energy coming in here, like everything paying off. This is a very soulmate card, but physical. They're actually physically there, working hard to achieve goals for the longevity and moving forward inside of things. But there's a bit of insecurity, so maybe both of you are coming with the conversations that you need to have, like about this time of healing that you've both gone through, or there's challenges that you've in adversity, right? But there's a real working together maybe to get over these insecurities, being able to like, but there's maybe things that won't be able to communicate straight away inside of here, even though both parties were like, physically I'm here, I'm involved. Alright, so that was the energy between you. That's how you came into this. Alright, so some hidden stuff inside the path. Alright, so how are we now? Where's the energy of this now? For you. Where you at? Inside of this. I'm not using reverse, as you can see. There's enough light and dark. We're using a few decks because it'll turn up by itself. Right, so where are you at now? You ended cycles. Alright, there was a death. There was an ending. So maybe there was a situation. Let's see where this goes. Alright, so there's a death. There's an ending, which does go to rebirth. So maybe you ended an old life. You've had things roll over. But you've got a slow and steady wins the race, sort of pacing it out. So with this new energy, you've taken the bones of your old life and you come out of it and you're like, all right, slow and steady. And this King of Swords, so this is an air sign individual. Oh, this is about mental processes. This is about seeking somebody who has got wise counsel inside of you. So sometimes lawyers and those sort of things fit inside of this. Could be talking about those sort of things. So maybe there's an ending and you're looking at how to move forward, the longevity of this, and there's wise communication to be had and to be sought inside of here. Counsel may be needed. Alright, so where are they at? That's interesting. Oh, you might be looking at your long-term prospects. You ended an old life, you've ended in that change and in that healing and that manifestation. You've moved forward and you've left something behind. There's a transition. Alright, and you're moving to see what benefits you, investing into your forward life. So you might be thinking counsel of buying property, those sort of things. It's longevity. But there's a communication with somebody who gives you some sound sort of advice, is what that is. And alright, where are they at? Okay, so they're saying an emotional new beginning. They've taken a rest. So this may not be communicating, but they've been an emotional new beginning. So they've let go of old stuff, and they're moving forward as an individual. They're finding what actually works for them and their prosperity. But they've taken rest of mind. They're not worrying about stuff so much at this point in time. And so this is showing that they're taking a bit of time to rejoice in themselves, maybe healing themselves, because we have a battle here in this 9 of inspiration and fire. This one is the 9 of materials, so the 9 of earth. So this is really grounding themselves, actually taking time to be an individual and healing themselves. So that's where they're at. But emotionally, they're light, which is great. Alright, where's the energy at between you? Alright, where's the energy at between this? Here. And the energy in between is, alright. Okay. And that's crazy. Alright, so there is loss, there is lack, there is hurt feelings. So this feels like present state. Separated energy altogether. Something here, this injustice, maybe the secrets didn't balance out. So here we've ended something and moved on, and this person has taken a break and rest and is looking after themselves and their physical being. But this really denotes abandonment and loss with these 2 5s, these 2 hurdles inside of here. Alright, so this 5 of Pentacles, as you can see, abandoned there, and the Cups is really lost, and in the middle of that we've got the most screaming card of all. Like, that is like, I really hurt. This is really hurting in here. And so there may not be a communication. They may not be actually screaming at you. You may not be screaming at them, because there's sort of depression and repression and having to endure hard heart lessons inside of this. And so if there was communication, it's probably very hurt and hurtful. Could be third party. This is a 3, so it can be 3 of conversation is what that actually is. But right now, present state, you're looking at moving forward. You're looking at making wise choices. You've seen the end of a circumstance and transformation inside of that. Like, they are taking a rest. They're emotionally, like, looking after themselves and resting their mind and really looking after their material being and being an individual. So they pulled back over here where you were charging forward, and somewhere in the middle of trying to make it happen and make it physically work, there's been a break in the middle in there. All right, so what's going forward? What's the juice going forward? All right. Do it twice just for fun. So where are you at? Oh, 9 of Cups. You've got optimism still. Although there's things that aren't known are unknown and you can't talk about it. There's been a physical new beginning. Alright, there's stuff that you can't talk about. Like, and you feel trapped and that's really frustrating. But there's a certain amount of wish fulfillment in the situation that you're in that is bringing joy and happiness and new beginnings. So we have a new beginning here, a physical new beginning, a new path, a new step. You've stepped out and walking in a new direction. Like, so inside of this, you are pretty much like being the change that you want to see. You are fake it till you make it. This is like, I am going to have joy and I'm going to have optimism coming out of this. My heart is not going to be hardened. But there was an injustice and there's stuff that I'm not going to talk about. And that's fine. I'm going to move on. I'm going to start a new path. There's a new path coming. There's a new physical path coming. All right, beginnings. Ooh, where are they at? Where are they at? This is your reading, you would know this is your reading, I'm guessing, because this is not light and fluffy and this has gone in a certain direction for you that you feel like you've had to make a new path. And something, maybe that's how the evolution of things has been, that you had to. But there is a certain deep connection with healing still inside of your path in how this is going, and theirs as well. Alright, so where are they at? If you're interested in where they're at. Oh, so they're still frustrated and they're still confused and there's still an illusion and they're having to work through that in their mind, this hurdle of the 5 of voices in there. And there's a Hangman. This is Pisces sort of energy, holding back, sitting back. And looking at the perspective of how they got where they're going. But there's the world cosmos in here. So divine things and divine, they're thinking about how they got here divinely, like the bigger picture of things and seeing how that's happened to them. And they're a bit disillusioned in their mind about how things have worked. So just like you are, like, but they're looking at it in all perspective and just hanging there and going, okay, the world has changed and this is not what I thought it was going to be. But there's big prosperous, the cosmos is big. This is ending of cycles, ending of karmic cycles. And they're sitting back and seeing where their position is. Alright, so what's the energy between you going forward? This had really good potential when you guys were working through, but there was obviously secrets being hidden, kept in the background. May have been a third-party interaction inside of this. No one was happy in the middle of here of how it went. Right, let's see where it's going, I guess. Let's see where this is going. Oh, I feel like hot. It's probably iced tea at this point. But let's see. Partnership. Guys are not saying anything. There's still hope for prosperity. Which way did I take that from? Did I take one from here? I'm going to now. Oh, and singularity. This is bound, and as much as there might have been some sort of fruitful outcomes inside of here, and might have been looking at long-term goals together, there's such an insecurity here. It's bound up. They can't talk, you can't talk, you're not talking. Like, and there was long-term, but we're looking at each as the individual in here, an individual person, each of you healing inside of this mix. So you were on a path of healing. They were on a path of protecting themselves and having to respect themselves. So there is big karmic turning cycles inside of this. And, you know, these two sort of things to go together, you've got to be a full individual before you can. But there's something that's totally unexpressed inside of here. Like, and whether you're going to be in contact or not, I don't know. And it looks like something really broke everybody's heart in the middle of this. And that's a sad place to be sometimes. But you're going to come out of this as both healed individuals. Still struggle. You probably still won't talk about this as you're moving forward. But there's potential. There's potential and drive for you as an individual to really strike out. And for both, all of you, people as individuals, to strike out and heal from this. I hope that was a great reading for you. It doesn't feel like it was the best energies, but that's how it's explained on the table. So if this is your reading and you would like your own personal reading, because this is just a general reading, although it will only resonate with maybe 1 or 2 people out there in the world, I do personal readings, and I'm going to do a self-love reading, and there's the elemental tune-in. I hope that you are safe and well, and enjoy the tea. Ciao.